the host of the Young Turks, creator of the Young Turks, give credit where credit is due, they call themselves home with the progressives. A lot of people would take issue with that particular term, but for the most part, a tick to the left of the Democratic Party, they have, for the most part, been that. Whether that's good or bad, it is still a tick to the left of the Democratic Party. Uygur came out recently with a head-scratching video. Now, it wasn't so much that the contents of the video was a head-scratch, it was more so that the video was created in the first place. Essentially saying, tune in to figure out who Anna and I endorse. Because when people call themselves home of the progressives look around and says, what do you mean, who are you going to endorse? Now, they did endorse Sanders, and they were given a lot of credit for endorsing Sanders, but this is kind of like, do you take care of your kids? It's like, well, yeah, but they're your kids. You should take care of your kids. In this very specific case, Uygur has gotten a lot of criticism from me. Now, when I used to watch the Young Turks, he was probably my favorite person on the Young Turks. Brash, bold in the way that he would give his opinions and those type of things. Those are qualities that I like, and so I like the way he was able to discharge information. That changed when he came out and told his people to vote Clinton. That stopped on a dime. I get off here. And that got worse and worse with this notion of Russiagate, this belief that Donald Trump was being told what to do by Vladimir Putin. The show seemed to be a tick to the left of the Democratic Party, essentially MSNBC light. That didn't go down well. I'll say it that way. And from the standpoint, my viewership, for all intents and purposes, went to zero unless somebody sent a video. That said, on the back of this endorsement of Sanders, which, again, I suppose, good, there have been many people who disappointed the left on this notion of supporting and endorsing Sanders. Elizabeth Warren, looking at you, she's running in the race now, didn't want to run in 2016, but is going to run in 2020. They hit the guy in the knees. So there have been disappointments on this front. So, fair enough. But on the back of this endorsement, Uygur has taken the secondary step of saying that he is running for office. The Young Turks talk show host, Cenk Uygur, filed today to run for Congress to replace resigned former Congressman Katie Hill, California 25th. Well, that's big news. Let's take a moment to talk about it. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content, please like, share, subscribe. You can always support PayPal Patron. This is just an update. I mean, every so often there are dispatches from the left, I suppose, and this is one of them. If you remember, Katie Hill was taken out with a bit of revenge porn. The fact that that work, as disgusting as it was, incentivizes the behavior for that to be done again. And I have to be honest, I found that, let's say it this way, it's a distasteful brand of politics, to put it mildly. I don't care how she lives her life in the sense of the relationships that she has. And I am bothered by this notion of blowing that stuff up and putting it out for everybody to see, working with, I suspect, is the husband who's just angry at her, but whoever it is, working with their political opposition in order to essentially ruin her life politically. She resigned. And in resigning, apparently Uygur is getting into the political space to try to take her spot. Believe it or not, and I know a lot of people dislike Uygur on this channel, I agree with this. I am perfectly okay with this. I mean, ultimately, I am rarely going to get the person who I want in office. The only thing I can hope for is to get people that push for specific issues in office. So this notion of Medicare for all, yes, ticks that box. Money out of politics, yes, that ticks my box. And even in the standpoint of some of the other policies that may be a tick to the left of the Democratic Party, they're still a tick to the left of the Democratic Party. I would suppose that Uygur and the Young Turks With the moment that Justice Democrats were created, at that point, it became a little bit dicey to entirely call them a news network. They became every bit as much of a political arm as MSNBC or as Fox News. Now, you can make an argument about whether that's good or bad, but in the sense of him running for office, I suppose it's like Bloomberg running for office, having a newspaper backing him. I mean, it's a little strange, but you can kind of see the arc. The Justice Democrats in and of itself was a foray into politics. It was their need or their want to try to make a stamp to reinsole the Democratic Party, working under the context of this revolution from Sanders. And in this case, this is not bad to me. In fact, I find this to be perfectly fine. I think how Uygur go at politics, I agree with, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is, he has a brashness associated with him, with the way that he articulates his political disposition. There are times where he is monstrously wrong and will lose a debate in a heartbeat. However, in a political space, that's a little bit different. And from his political disposition, it's going to be to the left of most other people who he would ever be in some kind of debate with. Not to mention from the standpoint of either the primary or either the general election itself. For what I want to see in politics, meaning this kind of shift to the left that stays there, from the standpoint of the American psyche that considers that new shift to be normal, where there could be another shift to the left. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. And in fact, you can even make somewhat of an argument that he's better suited for this, or at the very least, what he's done up to this point has prepared him to be somewhat better suited for this than maybe the way people would accept him in the media itself. Somebody can say that the endorsement of Sanders was forced, whether he wanted Sanders or not. Thing is, I don't particularly know. I strongly suspect that he would take Warren or Sanders as, for the most part, being maybe not a one-to-one, but close enough in his eyes. I don't necessarily see that. I don't think that's true. But nevertheless, he does. I guess my point is, whether that endorsement was, I'm forced to do this because of the show, or I am using this as a platform to launch my own political, I don't know. I would say, though, that Uygur running for office, whatever bad feelings I have with the Young Turks and the political disposition that they've taken since 2016, this is not one of those things I dislike. Let me know what you think below. Like, share, subscribe. Let's see, Joe S. I'm not a fan of his in particular, but I'll give credit where credit is due. California politics do need to change. He's passionate about the conditions there, so I wish him the best. Yeah, same here. Yeah, he's running for Congress. He's running for Katie Hill's OC. Yeah, I don't hate this. Like I said, I know some people don't particularly like Uygur, but from the standpoint of what he argues about, I think he's genuine on those items. And in being genuine on those are items that drags the party to the left, which means I am okay with him being in. I'm not going to get somebody who's exactly the way I want him to be. In this particular case, that is a move for the better. I will take it. Like, share, subscribe.